Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. I'm going to be speaking to you today from leaning all the way back here because I am in a severe amount of pain because I did something to my neck and it hurts really bad to look up, so this is the only way I can sit comfortably. And before you all comment saying, no, please take a break, don't worry, we'll wait for you, I would love to do that. However, my daily view count is not high enough for the YouTube algorithm to allow me to do that. So here we are. Hopefully you can hear me even though I'm far away from my microphone. Recently, as well as being in a fair amount of pain, I've also been super busy going back and forth between London and Liverpool to make music, and that is very exciting, and I'm incredibly excited to share it all with you when it gets done. Because of all of these things, I have asked Kat once again to find me things to talk about today, and today she has decided to bless us all by sending through a bunch of stone toss comments for me to react to, and I am dreading it. I am dreading it. Stone toss, I haven't looked at a stone toss comic for a while. I think it's been at least a year, if not two, since we talked about stone toss comics here, so I'm sure we're in for an absolute treat. If you are unaware, Stone Toss is a right-wing comic artist who draws little comics and posts them on Twitter, and they're all absolutely horrible, and they make me want to slam my head into the wall. So yeah, if you enjoy this, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm sure there is more where this comes from, as much as we wish that there was not. And if you are interested in the music that I mentioned just a moment ago, then please don't forget that you can go to patreon.com/savvycat, and for a little bit every month you can get access to some behind the scenes stuff, including snippets and things of songs before they are released to everyone. I actually have a little bit of a couple of the songs that I finished up there already, so if you want a sneak peek, you can go do that there, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff such as my videos early, and ad-free, as well as I've been doing like live reactions to some stuff that I'll be putting in videos. I've got my scripts up there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff available for you, and it starts at only £1 a month, so I really do appreciate it. And if you can't join, I really do just appreciate if you subscribe if you aren't already. It really does help me out, and it would be nice to be able to actually take breaks when I need to take breaks. So if you are able to subscribe and join my Patreon, please do one or both of those things. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into some fun comics. Starting off really strong. Actually, gay relationships are just as normal as straight ones. And then pouring a pill from a bottle that says PrEP into his hand. What's that? Meds to prevent gay relationships from killing me? You cannot be that fucking stupid about what PrEP is. Like, yes, but no. Anyone can get HIV. It is not like just gay people who can get HIV and AIDS. That is anyone. Anyone can get HIV and AIDS. It is more prevalent in gay people because there has been a lack of like sex education for gay people. There has been such a lack of safe sex like knowledge and access for like queer people for forever, right? So it's largely been gay men who have been affected because there was a lack of access to education and like safe sex. That is why it is so predominant amongst gay men. It's not as though straight people are immune to getting HIV and AIDS. It's just, that's not true. You can still get HIV and AIDS as a straight person. And women can also get HIV and AIDS. Like, it is not exclusively for gay men. They are just at higher risk. So they take PrEP because of the higher risk that exists. It's not that gay relationships kill you. Be so fucking for real. Also, like, so many things kill you in general. Like, there's so many things that you can like develop and get that get you sick that come from things that are normal. That's like saying that like eating specific foods isn't normal because you could get food poisoning. And it's like, sometimes you just get sick. It just happens, right? It's like, there are so many things that you can do that will get you sick or injured that are still like normal things to do. Life just happens, and sometimes you get sick and injured, and it's better to be safe than sorry. But like, let's not act like PrEP isn't a fantastic thing, and let's not act like HIV and AIDS doesn't affect people regardless of sexuality. Okay? So this is the little stone toss guy wearing his like American flag hat and his like blue and red and white stars and whatnot on 4th of July saying, "Happy 250th birthday, my fellow Americ." And the group he approaches is a group of very overly stereotypical people of a bunch of different cultures. Like a Mexican man, an Asian man of some sort, someone with a turban, you've got like a Jewish man, you've got an Indian man, you've got like a black man, you've got people of different like cultures and ethnicities all standing there, and this man is, the American man is like, "Oh shit, there are no Americans here." Bro. Jesus Christ. If you if you don't class people as American because they aren't like white, I don't know what to tell you, because like you also, like you and your family and your ancestors also are not from America. Like you also came here. Like granted, maybe you've been there for generations, but also some of these people also might have been there for generations. Not that that fucking matters, but it's just always so astounding to me, the audacity of fucking white people to be like, I am the person, this is my country. This is my country, and anyone else is ruining it. I, a white person, am American, and all non-white people are not American, even though, like, your ancestors are also immigrants, just like theirs are, right? Like, I just don't understand where this whole notion comes from and how you could even think this in the first place. It's just so baffling to me. And then even still, why does it fucking matter? Like, why can people of other, like, ethnicities not be American? What is the problem with there being cultural and ethnic diversity in your country? I don't understand people who are so against cultural and ethnic diversity. Like, if everyone was the same, it would be so boring. I do not understand people with any sort of, like, racial supremacy or, like, supremacy in any way, because like life would be boring if we were all the same. It would be like, culture is so cool. Different cultures are so cool, and it's so incredible to see so many people and how people function differently within societies, and how people like bring a piece of themselves and their culture into a place and like create this multicultural like community. I think that's so fucking cool that we can do that, and that that's something that happens. And I don't understand why you would be against that. I don't understand how you can like think that they are less than you, because we're all people and we're all just like living our lives and bringing ourselves to the table, right? And I'm just baffled at the fact that people view others as less than just for being born somewhere else, or even not even being born somewhere else. Like, some of these people are born there and they're still like, "Oh, but you look different to me. Oh, but you have a slightly different culture." Fuck off, man. Why are you so horrible? What do you gain out of this? What benefits you about being terrible? So this is their classic, like, liberal character, and you know, because they've got a little bit of pink hair, talking to a man with a Confederate flag on his hat. And he says, "Why do you hate black people?" And the Confederate flag man says, "Do I? Then explain this." And he says to a black woman, "I'm racist." And she looks scared for a second, and then she looks at him like, "Ooh, maybe he's hot. Maybe actually I like him." And this is so gross. This is so fucking gross. Like, there are some people who, like, as a trauma response, will go for people who are their oppressors and who feel some sort of attraction to people who, like, hate them. And that is a trauma thing and something that they need to work through. But it's not a majority of people. And that doesn't make it okay. And it also doesn't mean that you don't hate black people. Like, you can be in a relationship with a black person, you can be friends with a black person, you can be sleeping with a black person and still hate black people. You can be a black person and hate black people. Like, none of these things, like, those things aren't exclusive. You can be around other people and still also hate them. Like, both of those things can be true. It's so fucked up to, like, generalize and say that, like, black women appreciate when you're racist to them, because not true. not true, and also is just a really fucked up thing in general to even like put out there. Not only is that like incredibly insulting, it's racist, it's misogynistic, it's like, it's so gross, it's so fetishy, it's such a like fetishizing of black women, and it's so misogynistic and horrible. And I just like, it's so gross how much shit there is like this, and how many people act as though this is a majority of people and are like, go on being cruel because they're like, oh, you like it when I'm cruel. No, people don't like it when you're cruel. Please fucking stop. God, it's hard. I hate these comics so much. I hate these comics so much. They make me so mad. This is the X-Men, and it says, "Halt! We're the X-Men, an allegory for anti-racism." And then the big guy that's fighting the X-Men says, "Affirmative. Despite being 1% of the population, mutants commit 99% of global crises." And the X-Men all look at each other like, oh god. And then the big guy like shoots lasers out of his hand and kills them all, presumably. And like, how are you this racist? I truly just in general don't understand racism. I think it's so fucking ridiculous and stupid, and I just like don't understand the point in it at all. Like, I just do not get why you care. I don't understand why you give a fuck. I also like, it frustrates me so much when people just ignore facts and statistics and then like claim that everyone else is, right? Like, firstly, obviously, the thing of like, despite being 1% of the population, mutants commit 99% of the global crises, like implying that 99% of global crime is by like 99% of the crimes are committed by not white people. I mean, I don't think that's true, but also a majority of the world is not white. Like, a large majority of the world is not white. So like, yeah, most crime is going to not be committed by white people. This is true. If we're talking about specifically, like, you want to take that down and like 99% of the world's crimes is committed by immigrants of any race in any country, still not true. But still not even remotely true. I would say a majority of crimes are committed by people from the place that they're committing the crime. Like, including in the US, like, most crimes are committed by the people who are from there. Like, this is such a fucking ridiculous statistic to make up. And also, like, even still, right? Even if there was a majority of crimes committed by like immigrants or people who aren't white, like, even if that were true and we're just looking at the US because that is the entire world to these people, there is more factors to it, right? Like, committing crime and being a criminal is not tied to ethnicity. It's not tied to skin color. It's tied to so many social factors. Like, yes, okay, maybe a higher percentage of like non-white people commit crimes than white people do, but there are so many reasons to that, such as like socioeconomic environments. Like, more people who live in poverty are not white. People who live in poverty are more likely to commit crimes because, you know, sometimes people need to steal in order to be able to eat. Sometimes people get into like the business of selling drugs in order to be able to afford to look after themselves. Like, there are so many crimes that are committed out of necessity, and if you are living below the poverty line, you are more likely to commit crimes because you don't have any other option, and people who aren't white are more likely to be living below the poverty line. There are so many other factors, and it is not tied to race and ethnicity. It is tied to circumstance and environment, and that is tied largely to money and what you have access to. And if everyone had equal access and equal opportunities, this divide wouldn't exist. Also, not to mention that like, just because more non-white people are like arrested and jailed doesn't mean that that many more of them are committing crimes. It's that white people get away with more as well. Like, white people face like lesser sentences, face arrest less as well. Like, it is disproportionate to how people are treated and like what they get in trouble for and how they get in trouble for it. There's so many different factors. It is not so simple as just being like, ooh, this group of people commit more crimes because they are this skin color. Like, no, that's not how this works at all. There are so many more factors that are involved, and you can't just look at a tiny surface level percentage and come to conclusions, because nothing is that simple. It is so much deeper than just like a 2D image of a graph, right? And if you just look at a graph and then go, okay, I know the information, you don't know the information. You can't just look at a graph and decide. You have to actually read what it's saying and think about it. Media literacy. I mean, why are we surprised? He posted this image that says, me and who else? And it's one of his stone-tossed guy is just wearing a shirt that says the most racist man alive. And I mean, at least he's owning it, I suppose. But like, imagine being proud of this, right? Like, this is just, it's absurd to me. It's ridiculous. Like, why are you just so, I know it's like baity, right? But like, it's also true. Like, this is actually how he feels. And I know it's like played up to a degree of just being like, hell yeah, it gets engagement, but it's so fucked up and sad and frustrating, and I can't imagine wanting to make money off of the back of like hurting so many people, and it makes me so angry and so upset that so many people do just like make money off of hurting people. This is Happy Women's History Month, and it's a comic of Adam and Eve. It starts with Adam being like, another perfect morning in paradise, nothing could ruin this day, and then Eve comes out of the bush holding an apple and says, hi, I'm a woman. So, you know, obviously the implication that women ruined the world and ruined paradise. But like, you don't have to talk to us. You know, if you don't want anything to do with women, you don't have to have anything to do with women. If we burden you so much, I promise you, we're going to be so fine if you don't want to talk to us. If you want to live in a world without women, like, you can make that for yourself, right? Like, you can go hide away. You can go run away and live on your own and like speak to no one but your male friends, if you have any, which I feel like you probably don't. You can do that. You can isolate yourself. You're allowed to do that. I promise we will not miss you. That is totally fine. To imply that women have ruined the world is like... The biblical stories are always interesting, aren't they? They're always interesting in the way they're interpreted and shared and everything. Like, just go away. Don't speak to women ever again. That's okay. We won't miss you. This is their liberal character, as you know, because they've got pink hair, pointing to ChatGPT, but they've called it Anus GPT, saying, but it's stealing our jobs. And then it's moving over to a Mexican man cleaning the floor and an Indian man working on a computer. So obviously implying that, like, it makes no sense that we're upset at AI for stealing our jobs when immigrants have been stealing our jobs. But like, no, this argument never makes sense to me either. Like, no, they're not stealing our jobs, right? The jobs are there for anyone to have. And if they are more qualified for those jobs, then they're gonna get those jobs, right? Like, if that's a job that they want and they are more qualified for it, they can get it. And if they get the job because the people hiring are going to pay them less money because they can get away with paying them less money, then that's not them stealing the job. That's the employer being fucked up and abusing a system and abusing people, right? They haven't stolen a job. They are being taken advantage of and being abused by by someone who has money, by someone who is higher up. And they weren't going to hire you anyway because they don't want to pay you. That's a systemic problem that needs to be fixed, and that's not about immigrants stealing jobs. That's about immigrants being abused and taken advantage of, and they're not stealing your jobs. And in other areas, like when they are taking jobs that you want, they're not taking a job. They just like are qualified and are being given the job on equal ground as you. In fact, you are way more likely to get the job than they are, even if they are more qualified than you are. So like, if you don't get the job, it's because they are better suited for it and not you. They're not stealing your fucking jobs. Be so for real. Stop making shit up. The job market is fucked in general. Yeah. It's not the fault of immigrants. That is not the fault of immigrants at all. Cost of living crisis, not the fault of immigrants. Job crisis, not the fault of immigrants. It is the fault of billionaires. It is the fault of people with money and with power, and you are continuously giving them more of that and letting them get away with shit. And you are creating the problem. They want you to blame immigrants because it means that you won't look at them and blame them. You are doing exactly what they want and making the problem worse. And it's so frustrating that they refuse to acknowledge that. This is someone where like a CS grad, so like a university student who had built a big AI person and says, now go forth, Gollum, and do my bidding. And then he goes and gets a job and it's like, not my job. Okay, well now I'm confused. So you do think AI is stealing jobs? But you just said that you think that it's hypocritical for us to complain about AI stealing jobs? Or is it that like, it's that thing of like, if you don't vote, you can't complain, and they're going for that logic. They're like, if you aren't complaining that immigrants are stealing jobs, then you can't complain that AI is stealing jobs. It's either both or neither. No, it's just AI. AI is the problem. Immigrants are not the problem. I'm glad, I think, at least he agrees that AI is bad, because AI is bad. I'm a bit confused by the take. And it's just a bit hypocritical and confusing as to thinking that you can complain about immigrants stealing jobs, but not AI, but then also complain about AI stealing jobs. I don't understand what's happening. Especially when the next thing he posts is, today is Trump's 80th birthday, and it's one of the Studio Ghibli AI generated images of Trump. And he's sitting at a table and he's like looking lovingly across at someone, and it's really funny because it makes it look like he's like AI generated Donald Trump and like AI generated being on a date with Donald Trump. And I just think that's really funny. It's actually really funny to like AI generate being on a date with Donald Trump. That's fucking hilarious. But also supposedly it seems as though they're anti-AI, but then also using AI, so maybe they're not anti-AI. And I'm just confused. And also, this is just like, it's such a stupid, God, I hate generative AI so much. It's such a fucking stupid waste of resources and energy. And like, also so stealing art. And the creator of Studio Ghibli was really not a fan of this, if I can remember correctly, right? Because it's like literally like ripping off his art and stealing it. Just making images of anything. And that would be so horrible to see as an artist, like your art being used to create so much bullshit and like oversaturating the internet, using so much like water and electricity, and like seeing your art used for some horrible like messaging and shit. Like that would suck so much to see, and I feel so bad for him having to like sit and watch his art be like butchered like that. I'm confused as to this person's take on AI. Like, truly do not understand. There's these other ones of he's sitting on the ground being like, AI took my job, and asking for money, and then the next panel is an AI image of the same people, but it's AI generated, and the person who he was begging from says get good, and I don't know what that means, or if the point of it is that AI makes gibberish. And then the next one is AI can copy the Studio Ghibli style perfectly. Think it'll replace real artists. And then the last one says impossible, and it's them but as AI generated images. And I'm confused as to what their perspective on AI is. Like, it kind of feels like it's anti-AI, but also they're using AI a lot in order to be anti-AI. Like, I feel as though you can't make anti-AI commentary while using AI, but also it doesn't feel pro-AI either. So now I'm just a little bit confused and I don't entirely understand what's going on, but I feel like that's kind of their whole thing, in which they're just incredibly hypocritical and make no fucking sense, and their art is bad and stupid and full of bullshit messaging. And so I suppose it's quite on brand to also be confusing about their stance on AI and seemingly being AI, anti-Gen AI, but also using Gen AI. I just don't entirely understand what's going on, but I know that I hate it. And I know that I hate Stone Toss. Yeah, that is all Kat sent me from Stone Toss Comics, and there's so many comics like this, and it's so fucking exhausting and so frustrating, and I almost forgot that it existed, and I've been really upset to be reminded that it exists. Yeah, let me know if you want to see me look at some more right-wing comics, because it has been a hot minute since I've looked at some, but I've looked over a bunch in the past, so if there are any you want me to go look back at, please do let me know. And I would be very interested in doing so. I've just got to go dig them up. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Eden, Amelia, Rain Remaining, Mossy Moose, Bingo Bango, Who Ate My Mango, Kiarum, Bug Loves Cats, Kojo, The Beebs, Tess, Bree, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Ikazel, Alexis, and Nevea. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you replace